This stock could be about to break out massively towards the upside. Here's the trading strategy that I'm using. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be going over a specific stock that I think has a ton of potential to break out in the coming days with some massive gains that could be potentially on the table. We're going to be going over my exact trading strategy that I'm going to use to trade this stock, my plans, my entries, my exits, and all of that, and get into every single detail that you guys are going to want to know about this specific setup. Before we do that though, make sure you guys join the Discord if you haven't already with the first link down in the description below, and make sure to head over to the join us tab so you guys can join our premium members to get access to our buy and sell alerts. As you can see just from the gains chat alone, people are up huge. We have one member up over $10,000 just in the past week, members hitting $200 per play here, and of course another member hitting about 28% profit on a recent play we did, as well as 16% profit all in the same day, and the gains continue to go on and on and on. If you guys want to get access to our buy and sell alerts or any of the things that I just talked about, head over to the join us tab with the Discord with the first link down in the description below. Hit this link, you'll be taken to a page that looks like this, and we have multiple different pricing options and tiers depending on your budget and what you are able to do. But other than that, first link down in the description below, let's get into the actual stock and what I think is going to happen next. So Blue Owl Capital is what we're going to be looking at in today's video. And you've probably heard about this if you're a avid investor or just somebody who's been involved in the markets for the past couple of days. You've probably seen a lot of talk about this specific stock all over the internet. And one of the best ways actually we can go see this exact thing is head over to StockTwits, which is a really great way to kind of gauge the overall interest in various equities and various stocks. But more specifically with OWL, we can get a really good idea of what everyone is feeling about this stock. Now, before we get into the actual typing, the messages sent by, of course, StockTwit members, let's just take a look at some of these kind of metrics right here. So for their sentiment, we're looking at a bullish rating at about a 59, which is just a little bit above neutral, and that has been starting to climb here over the past day. So it's very interesting to see this stock go from kind of a little bit more bearish, and we'll kind of talk a little bit more about why that was the case with some of the news that's been going on lately. But kind of a little bit more of a bearish position into a more bullish position here as the day has gone on. As you can see down here, unusual option sweep detected. That means obviously there's somebody buying up a load of contracts right now at various price points. And then, of course, if we go down even here, a lot of people are talking about how they're adding to their positions, right? This guy is, identifying a weekly 9-day support. He's talking about adding more shares and more contracts to his position. More people are increasingly bullish on this equity. As you can see, there's very few people who are bearish in the first place. Most of these are very positive messages talking about how they're continuing to really like the overall, that was a funny meme, the overall stock that they're investing in and continuing to invest in. So again, this is interesting stuff. Very excited to see where this stock is headed next. But you're probably wondering, well, what are your personal thoughts about it, right? These are other people. What do you think about it, since you've been trading stocks probably just as long, if not longer, than some of these other people? Well, let me get into that. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to pull up the chart here. I personally like to swing trade most of my positions, if not day trade on a daily time frame, just to kind of get a wider aspect or a wider view of the market. That's just kind of typically the way I like to handle things. And as the market tends to move on the daily, we get a much better view, in my opinion, of where the stock is going next, right? Instead of just a micro kind of view of the recent price action, and it's much harder to predict. This is where we can really take a look at some of the trends that are being formed over the past couple of days, and just kind of in general the way that this stock moves in accordance with how the market's performing, right? And as you can see, Blue Owl Capital has been doing very, very well since about December. We saw some massive gains here, upwards of from $13 to all the way up to a high of, it looks like, about $18 to about $18.20 here. Just at its highest point, not even counting this candle wick right here, which is about 1833. But overall, very, very bullish stock for the last couple of months. Now, we're kind of seeing a cool off period here starting in about February, where we're kind of trading a little bit flat, right? We're consolidating. More than likely what's happening here is a lot of people took profits after this massive run. Investors who obviously bought all the way back here or even further, all the way down here, are definitely going to probably be taking profits around this area, just considering how overextended it was. And even if you look at the RSI, Again, a pullback was completely expected here. We also had an earnings report, which actually was really good, very positive earnings report, no surprises. It wasn't really necessarily up or down, which is kind of a good thing with earnings. You don't really want those large swings that surprise the market, because that drives a lot of either buying or selling action that ends up kind of messing up your position. And as you can see here, we're moving kind of more towards a stagnant kind of consolidation pattern, which isn't a bad thing. This is actually a really good thing. This can potentially mean that we're setting up for a further breakout towards the upside. And for those of you who are a little bit more into stock chart patterns and the way that stocks can trade, we can actually kind of take a look at the overall pattern that we're forming. We're kind of forming a little bit of a bull flag here after this big gap up that we saw on February, I believe this is February 9th. Yeah, February 9th. We saw a pretty large gap up here, and now we're kind of trading in this channel. So if we continue to stay within this channel and continue to trade sideways, there can be that potential for a higher gap up, especially as the volume down here is starting to fade a little bit. Today is a light day. On the day that I'm making this, a little bit of a lighter day as far as volume is concerned, which does technically mean, and usually we like to see those light days, because that is when about 2 to 3 days after, we can see a little bit more of a push towards the upward direction. When I was talking about the news, guys, I wanted to cover this real quick for news on Blue Owl Capital, because this can give us another idea of where the stock might be headed. As you can see, some of the large asset management firms have been picking up a load of contracts and a load of shares for this specific company, meaning that they are also bullish, more than likely, on the potential outcome of where this company is going. It's still very early in the development of kind of this overall rally, if you will, as we're kind of moving towards the upside. But what I really want to see is more of this consolidation, more trading sideways, so that we get a really stable ground and a really good foothold before we start moving towards the upside, like I talked about happening. And in my opinion, that could happen anywhere in a matter of days, or potentially at some point in this month, into the end of this month. And again, we're just kind of waiting to see when that's going to occur. There's no guarantees, of course. Remember that, guys, that these patterns can fail. Sometimes even when the market is doing really, really well, the patterns all look good, things can go sideways, and we can literally see a massive drop in this stock just as much as we want it to go up. So remember that, guys. Hedge your positions, right? Make sure you use risk management, utilize stop losses, make sure you're not dumping your whole portfolio into this. I've seen so many idiots do that lately, where they just dump their whole portfolio into some random play because they thought it was a good idea, and they thought they'd make like $3,000 in a couple hours, and then they end up losing $7,000 or $8,000, and that's their whole life savings. Just my point is, use risk management, be safe out there, be considerate. And if you guys want to be a part of a community to help you kind of grow your mindset and really actually understand what you're doing in the markets, again, that first link down in the description below to join our Discord is going to be their best bet to get access to that. Once again, if you guys want, once you head into the Discord, head over to the Join Us tab, which is right here. Click this link, and you guys can get joined up to our premium section, where you get access to all of the features that we have in our specific Discord. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to hit the like button and the subscribe button. I'm Kyle with Finance Bro, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.